Chicago doesn't sleep until the bear roars. What's everyone missing about the explosive news set to rock Soldier Field? 3 forbidden secrets the management tried to hide. An unnamed rookie is humbling veterans in practice. A general manager is preparing a radioactive trade that'll leave the NFC North in tatters, and the defense is hiding a secret weapon capable of shutting down Rodgers and Love. But beware, if you don't discover how these pieces connect, you'll miss the Bears' biggest leap in 40 years. I've got 24 hours of exclusive closed practice recordings. A veteran linebacker almost cried revealing Ben Johnson's diabolical plan. And guess what? The NFL is already investigating if our new offensive weapon is illegal. Last warning, this will leak in 3, 2, 1. Do you want to be the first to know or watch your Bears friends celebrate without you? Smash that like and hurry to subscribe before the video explodes. Chicago doesn't forgive the unaware. Bear down or bail. Confidence is soaring among Bear Nation, and I'll tell you why it's more important than you think. After years of suffering with Trubisky, Nagy, and all that mess since 2018, we're finally seeing real signs this organization understands what Chicago deserves. Let me tell you, the preseason stats don't lie. 3rd best offense in total yards, 3rd in passing yards, and the defense, 7th best in yards allowed. When's the last time we saw stats like this from the Bears in preseason? But let me break these numbers down in a way that'll make sense for you. We're talking about 30.3 points per game offensively. Remember when Matt Nagy could barely score 13 against Green Bay and we called it a moral victory? Now we're literally doubling our offensive production. And on defense, 17.0 points allowed per game, folks. This means our defense is performing at the level we expected when we signed Montez Sweat and saw our secondary's potential. Kyler Gordon is playing like a veteran, and Jalen Johnson, man, this guy is playing at an all-pro level. But here's what really blows my mind. 38% of our fans are more confident now than at the beginning of the offseason. You know what that means? It means after all we've been through, after all the disappointments, we finally have something real to believe in. Let's talk seriously for a minute. Chicago is a city that doesn't take nonsense. We're the city that had Mike Ditka, that had the 85 defense, that saw Walter Payton running in the snow. We know when a team is real and when it's just franchise marketing fluff. And for the first time in years, we're seeing something that feels real. And you know what's even crazier? FanDuel keeps our win line at 8.5, but I'm betting we'll surpass that easily. Why? Because I believe in Ben Johnson. This guy took the Lions, who were the NFL's joke, and turned them into the league's most explosive offense. Ben Johnson as a Coach of the Year favorite at plus 650 is no coincidence, folks. The bookmakers know something many haven't realized yet. This guy has the perfect plan for maximizing Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, and all our weapons. He knows how to maximize DJ Moore, who was wasted in the previous system. Remember how Caleb Williams played at USC? Improvising, creating plays out of nothing, using his mobility to extend plays. Matt Eberflus tried to put him in a box, tried to make him a traditional pocket passer. Ben Johnson is going to unleash this kid's full potential. The truth is, this confidence didn't just appear out of nowhere, folks. It came from seeing joint practices against Miami and Buffalo, where our offense not only competed but dominated in various situations. It came from seeing our defense putting pressure on veteran quarterbacks like Josh Allen and making him uncomfortable in the pocket. And here's the most important part that many aren't talking about. Our offensive line is finally healthy. Darnell Wright is playing at the level we expected when we drafted him. Teven Jenkins is finally consistent. And Braxton Jones. Man, this guy is playing like a franchise left tackle. But I have to be honest with you, there's always that little voice in every Bears fan's head that says, is this time really different? You know what I'm talking about. How many times in the last 10 years have we started a season hopeful only to see everything crumble by week 4? The difference is that this time we have real leadership in the organization. Ryan Poles is not a yes man like Jerry Angelo was. This guy has a plan, has a vision, and more importantly, he has the full support of the ownership to execute that vision. Is this confidence justified, or are we fooling ourselves again? I believe it's justified, and I'll tell you why in the next news. If you thought you knew all the main characters this offseason, you're completely wrong. The biggest winner of the Bears preseason isn't Caleb Williams, isn't Romo Duns. It's a guy you probably didn't even know existed 3 months ago. Jade Walker, folks. An undrafted wide receiver who arrived here with zero expectations and became the 5th in the receiver hierarchy. I believe you don't quite grasp the magnitude of what I'm talking about here. Let me tell this guy's full story, because it's absolutely incredible. Walker came from Texas A&M, where he played in the SEC, one of college football's most competitive conferences. But still, no NFL team thought he deserved a draft pick. None. Ryan Poles saw something that the other 31 GMs didn't. He signed Walker as an undrafted free agent, likely for a minimal amount, and now this kid is making all those GMs. Question how they missed this talent. This guy scored an 87.9 overall grade on Pro Football Focus during the preseason. Just so you understand what that means, that grade would place him among the top 15 NFL wide receivers if it were the regular season. He caught 8 passes for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns in just 77 snaps. But here comes the most impressive part. He caught the game-winning touchdown against the Kansas City Chiefs. You heard that right, against the Chiefs. Against the NFL's best defense. Against the team that won the Super Bowl the last 2 years. And it wasn't a lucky touchdown, folks. It was a perfect route, a clean separation from the defender, and a contested catch that showed exactly why this kid deserves to be on this roster. When I saw that play, I flashed back to Alshon Jeffrey making impossible catches in our 2018 season. But you know why this news excites me so much? Because it represents everything Chicago is. A kid that no one knew, who came here hungry and determined and proved he deserves to be on this team. That's Chicago, folks. A city of workers, a city of people fighting for their opportunities. Case Keenum, an 11-year NFL veteran who's played for 9 different teams, said he completely trusts Walker. When an experienced quarterback like Keenum, who's seen hundreds of receivers throughout his career, makes a comment like this about an undrafted rookie, you know we're talking about something special. I've had a lot of trust in Jadai. From the little time I've known him, said Keenum. I thought he played really well against the Dolphins. He's got a great route running. Just needed to give him a chance. But the story gets even more interesting when his college teammate, Shamar Turner, talks about Walker's personality. I've never met anyone as energetic and charismatic as him. What I think he brings to the team is this love for the game and this energy. When he scores a touchdown, you see the whole sideline go crazy because everyone's rooting for him. This reminds me a lot of what we saw with guys like Brandon Marshall or Alshon Jeffrey when they got here. That ability to energize the whole team, to make everyone believe something special is happening. And look at the current depth chart of wide receivers. DJ Moore as WR1, Rome Odunze as WR2, Luther Burden III as the slot receiver, Olamide Zacchaeus as the reliable veteran, and now Walker as the 5th wide receiver, who can easily become the 4th with a few solid performances in the first weeks. Devin Duvernay, who cost draft capital last year, is literally competing with an undrafted rookie for the 6th spot. That shows the level of competition Ben Johnson has brought to this group. But here's what many aren't realizing. Walker isn't just a slot receiver or a deep threat. He has the versatility to play outside, has the size for contested catches, and has the speed to separate from any cornerback. In 77 snaps, he's shown a complete skill set that many drafted receivers can't display in entire seasons. The burning question is this: can Walker maintain this level in the regular season when he faces defenses studying his tape and preparing specific game plans? I believe he can, and here's why. This kid has a work ethic that impressed the coaches. From day one, he arrived knowing he had to prove his worth every single day, and that created a hunger you simply can't teach. Plus, he has the perfect mentality for Chicago. He's not here to be a star. He's here to do whatever it takes to help the team win. That kind of attitude is exactly what we needed in this receiver room. And imagine the psychological impact this has on the rest of the team. If an undrafted rookie can come in here and earn respect immediately, that sends a clear message. No matter your draft status, no matter your pedigree, what matters is performance on the field. Now we're on to the news that might change our whole season, folks. Ryan Poles isn't sitting still, and the situation with our edge rush just got a lot more interesting. With Austin Booker injured and our pass rush needing depth, Poles is literally hunting the trade market for solutions that can take us to the next level. And I found a perfect target who could solve all our problems. Keon White from the New England Patriots. But let me explain the whole strategic situation here because it's a lot more complex than it seems on the surface. The Patriots completely changed their defensive scheme when Mike Vrabel came in as head coach. They went from a 4-3 to a 3-4, and this created a unique opportunity for us. White was demoted to the second team in New England, not because he isn't good, but because he simply doesn't fit their new system. At one point, 95 meters and 135 kilograms, he's too big to play outside linebacker in a 3-4, but he's perfect to be a defensive end in our 4-3. And here's the genius part. He's just the size Dennis Allen is looking for in our defensive line. He's got the same measurements as Dayo Odeyingbo when he was drafted, and we know how effective Odeyingbo has been in our system. Pro Football Focus ranked White as the 20th best pass rusher out of 210 NFL players last year. 20! Among all the pass rushers in the league, he had 5 sacks in his second season. And more importantly, he showed consistent pressure throughout the season. But here's what really stands out about White. He improved drastically from his first to his second year. As a rookie, he was better against the run than as a pass rusher. In the second season, he became a pass rush terror but maintained his solidity against running plays. That shows development and football IQ. And the cost? Just $2.1 million. In salary cap, folks, we have $1.3 million cap space available right now, but moves can be made. Jordan McFadden has been playing so well he could easily be promoted from the practice squad, freeing up cap space. I believe a third round pick would be enough to get this player. But if the Patriots want more, I'd offer a 4th round plus Kirana Megaji. The Patriots have been desperate for help on the offensive line since last year, and Amegaji has exactly the profile they're looking for. Amegaji has 91 centimeter arms, which is elite size for a tackle, but he needs development. The Patriots have an excellent track record developing linemen, and this would be a perfect fit for both teams. Here's our current pass rush situation. Montez Sweat as the premier edge rusher, DeMarcus Walker as the other starter, and then Dominique Robinson as the third on the depth chart. Robinson has 2 sacks in 3 NFL seasons. 2 sacks in 3 years. That's not enough if we want to compete in the NFC North, folks. Green Bay has a rebuilt offensive line. Minnesota has Jefferson and Addison that can burn you if you don't pressure Kirk Cousins. And Detroit? They have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. White could immediately become our 3rd down specialist, and when Booker returns from injury, we'd have a rotation of 4 pass rushers that could keep everyone fresh throughout the season. And here's a statistic that will shock you. White had more quarterback pressures in the last 2 years than Robinson has had in his entire career. And Robinson was a 5th round pick, while White was a 2nd rounder. White's attitude also impresses me. When he was demoted to the second team, instead of complaining or asking for a trade, he said, "As long as I have a job, I'm happy to have one. I don't care at all. They could put me as a cornerback. If they're going to pay me, I'll play." That's exactly the mentality we want in Chicago. A guy who's willing to do whatever it takes to help the team, who doesn't care about ego, just wants to contribute. But there's real urgency here, folks. The season starts in a few days, and if we're going to make a move, it has to be now. Other teams are also watching White's situation, and if we wait too long, we might lose this opportunity. Ryan Poles has shown he's not afraid of aggressive moves. He traded for Montez Sweat in the middle of last season. He drafted Caleb. Williams #1, he signed Keenan Allen. This guy isn't afraid to make tough calls. The question is, will he have the courage to make this trade that could define our season? I believe he will, especially considering how dominant our defense can be with one more piece. Imagine our pass rush. Sweat and Walker on early downs. White coming in fresh and explosive on 3rd downs, and Booker returning as the 4th rusher when healthy. That would be a nightmare for any offensive coordinator. Now, let me connect these 3 news pieces in a way that makes you understand why this season is unlike any we've had recently. The fans' confidence isn't based on hype or franchise marketing. It's based on seeing an organization that finally understands how to build a winner. Jade Walker's discovery shows our scouting department is finding gems other teams are missing. And the potential trade for Keon White shows Ryan Poles is thinking strategically about how to complete our roster. These three stories represent three crucial aspects of a successful franchise: fan engagement, player development, and strategic team building. For the first time in years, we're seeing the Bears execute in all these areas simultaneously. Walker represents the kind of player development teams like Pittsburgh and New England do consistently. They turn undrafted rookies into significant contributors. Seeing the Bears doing this gives us hope we finally have the infrastructure for sustained success. And a potential trade for White. This shows Poles is thinking like successful GMs. He identifies needs, finds solutions on the market, and isn't afraid to pay the right price to improve the team. Looking at our new season at starting, these three developments create a perfect storm of opportunity. The fans' high confidence will create an incredible environment at Soldier Field. Jade Walker gives us depth and versatility in the passing game we didn't have before. And if we get White, our defense could be top 5 in the NFL. But more important than all of this, we're seeing a real culture change in the organization. This isn't a franchise that accepts mediocrity or makes decisions based on politics anymore. This is a franchise solely focused on winning football games. Ben Johnson brings an offensive mindset we haven't seen in Chicago since the days of Mike Martz. Dennis Allen is building a defense that could be historic if we get the right pieces. And Ryan Poles is providing both coaches with the resources they need to succeed. Friends, we've just seen 3 news pieces that could completely set the course for the Chicago Bears in 2025. The fans' confidence is sky high, based on real evidence. We've found a hidden gem in Jade Walker, who could be our secret weapon, and Ryan Poles may be planning the perfect trade to complete our defense. But I want to know your detailed opinion. Do you think all this confidence is justified, or are we fooling ourselves again? Leave in the comments if you believe Walker can maintain this level in the regular season. And more importantly, do you think he can become our 4th passing game option by week 1? And about the potential Keon White trade, would you make this trade? Is a 3rd-round pick for a proven pass rusher worth it, or would you rather keep our draft capital for next? Yeah, I want to see this discussion heat up in the comments, because this decision could literally determine if we make the playoffs or not. And tell me as well, which of these 3 news pieces do you think is most important for our season? The renewed fan base confidence, Walker's discovery, or the potential of acquiring White? Each of these stories has massive implications for how our season is going to develop. If you enjoyed these exclusive and detailed analyses and want to continue receiving the hottest Bears info, subscribe to the channel now. We're a family here, folks. A family that lives and breathes navy and orange. A family that doesn't accept anything less than excellence. Hit that like if you believe this could be our season, subscribe to the channel to not miss any Chicago Bears news, and activate the bell because we always have exclusive content coming. And share this video with every Bears fan you know, because these developments are too big to go unnoticed. Da Bears Chicago. Bear down. Until the next video, where we'll keep following every single development of this franchise that's finally heading in the right direction.